Welcome to this episode of Toronto Blue Jays Update. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. The last 24 hours have been absolutely brutal for Toronto Blue Jays fans. We watched Kyle Tucker sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers on a 4-year deal worth $240 million. That's $60 million a year, folks. Sure, some of it's deferred, so it's closer to $57 million annually, but let's be real here, that's absurd money. The Dodgers are out here playing hedge fund baseball, and honestly, it's getting ridiculous. So the Jays regroup and say, all right, we didn't get Tucker. Let's pivot to Bo Bichette. Except here's the kicker. Bichette's gone too. The Mets jumped in because, of course, they did. Steve Cohen, the richest owner in baseball, practicing his own version of hedge fund baseball, decided that since they missed out on Tucker at 4 years and $55 million per season, they just grabbed the next best player available. And here's what's wild about this. Bichette doesn't even fit their roster. He's going to have to play third base for the Mets because they've got Marcus Semien at second and Francisco Lindor at short. But Cohen didn't care. He went out and gave Bo a 3-year, $126 million contract. That's $42 million a year. Never in my wildest imagination did I think Bo Bichette would command $42 million annually. Now, I believe the Jays would have offered a competitive contract, probably with a couple more years attached, but Bichette settled for the short-term mega deal. And this is exactly what we're seeing across baseball right now. Small market teams getting completely priced out of the game. A homegrown star heading to the Mets, the Jays losing out on Tucker as plan A, then watching plan B and Bichette walk away too. There's definitely disappointment seeing Bo leave. I think both he and Vlad had visions of bringing a championship to Toronto. That hope was real, but the business side of baseball took over, and now Bichette's moving on to Queens. But here's the thing. If you're the Blue Jays, there's absolutely no reason to panic. They've already had a really solid offseason. Dylan Cease, Cody Bellinger, Tyler Rogers. That bullpen and rotation is deep and significantly better than what we saw a year ago. Plus, you're getting a full season of Trey Savage. You're going to see a better, healthier Jose Berrios back in that rotation. I feel genuinely good about where the pitching staff stands right now. On the offensive side, Ernie Clement is going to be a factor at third base, and he's a legitimately good offensive player. Now, is he Bo Bichette? No. But you're getting a full season of Addison Barger, a full season of Ernie Clement with his continued development, a full season of Dalton Varsho, and Anthony Santander bouncing back. There will be more than enough offense for this Blue Jays team to compete. Listen, Kyle Tucker's an elite player, and he absolutely would have made the Jays better. Bo Bichette is a great player who would have improved this roster. But I want to see Addison Barger get consistent playing time, and if Tucker had come in, Barger's at-bats would have taken a hit. So honestly, I like where the Blue Jays are positioned right now. Now, could they pivot to Cody Bellinger? Sure. And I wouldn't mind that move because it would keep him away from the Yankees. The Yankees want to do a 5-year deal and won't go beyond that. The Jays were apparently willing to consider a 10-year deal for Kyle Tucker, so maybe they could get involved with Bellinger. He's like Kyle Tucker light, but he'd still have an impact. He can play first, he can play the outfield, he's got power and speed, he's a quality player. But the Jays don't need to go down that road unless they really want to. They could also explore a trade for someone like Brendan Donovan, a versatile guy who can play multiple positions. But even if they don't make another move, and I know it feels disappointing losing out on both Tucker and Bichette like they've lost momentum, they're actually in a really strong position. Right now, the Red Sox have had a great offseason, but the Jays are better. The Orioles have made moves, but the Jays are better. The Yankees, even if they land Bellinger, will have had a decent offseason, but the Jays are still better. The Rays will compete like they always do, but right now they're the last place team in this division. So with or without Kyle Tucker, with or without Bo Bichette, the Toronto Blue Jays are set up for an outstanding 2026 season with legitimate aspirations to not only win the division, but make a serious run at the World Series.